Southampton is the UK's #1 cruise port, and if you're cruising from here, there are a few practical things that will make your day far smoother. I've sailed from all 5 Southampton terminals over the years, on everything from short Northern Europe itineraries to longer Mediterranean cruises, and what catches people out isn't the terminal itself, it's the logistics around it. So in this video, I'll walk you through 10 things you genuinely need to know before cruising from Southampton. Practical advice you can use whether you're driving, taking the train, or flying in. Southampton currently has 5 passenger cruise terminals in operation: City, Horizon, Mayflower, Ocean, and QE2. They're all within a couple of miles of each other, and they're all part of the same port complex, operated by Associated British Ports. Different cruise lines tend to favour certain terminals, but this can change, and you can absolutely depart from one terminal and return to another. I've done that myself, so never assume. Confirmation of your cruise terminal is normally shown on the paperwork you receive after you complete online check-in, either in the cruise line app or on your boarding pass, depending on how your cruise line issues documents. If you want extra reassurance, the ABP Southampton website lists daily ship movements and terminals, so you can double-check there as well. Getting the right terminal matters, because on a busy port day, crossing the city from the wrong dock gate can add unnecessary stress and delay the start of your cruise. Here's something that often surprises people. The specific terminal you sail from matters less than you might think. I've cruised from all 5, and structurally they're very similar. You drop your luggage with the porters outside, go into the building, and either clear security first and then check in, or check in and then clear security. That order depends more on your cruise line than the terminal itself. They're not like airports. There aren't proper restaurants or big shopping areas inside. You might find a small cafe outside at certain terminals, but once you're in, assume very limited facilities beyond toilets and seating. If you arrive too early on a busy day, you may be asked to queue outside under covered areas, because seating inside is controlled. What really varies is the embarkation process itself. P&O Cruises, Royal Caribbean, MSC, and Princess all handle boarding slightly differently. I've put together full embarkation guides explaining how each one works, and that playlist is linked in the description. So, apart from making sure you're at the correct terminal, the building itself isn't the thing to focus on. Your arrival time, and how your cruise line manages boarding, matter far more. If your boarding pass says 1:30, plan to arrive around that time. Arriving 1 or 2 hours earlier than your embarkation time does not usually mean you'll board early. In many cases, you will simply be waiting outside until your allocated window opens. When multiple ships are in port, traffic into the dock slows down and taxis queue. What might normally be a simple 10-minute drive can take considerably longer. If you're driving 2 or 3 hours or more, staying in Southampton the night before removes that uncertainty. It turns embarkation day into a relaxed start to the cruise, rather than relying on motorway traffic. If you're flying in from overseas, particularly from the United States or Canada, Southampton requires a little more planning. Heathrow is about 70 miles away. In clear traffic, that's around 90 minutes by car, but it can take longer on busy days. Most cruise lines offer pre-bookable coach transfers from Heathrow directly to the Southampton cruise terminals, which removes navigation stress and ensures you're delivered to the correct dock gate. These transfers are often available on Disembarkation as well, so check with your cruise line before you travel. Private transfers are also widely available. Southampton Airport is much closer, around 15 to 20 minutes from the port, and is the simplest option if your routing allows it. But there are limited international flights direct to Southampton Airport. Another option for cruise passengers flying into London is to take the train from London Waterloo to Southampton Central. You could also spend a few days in London first, then travel down to Southampton. It breaks up the journey and allows you to do some sightseeing. The next decision is whether to drive or take the train, and that largely depends on distance and luggage. If you're driving, Southampton is well connected via the M3 and M27, and the terminals are clearly signposted. On most days, it's straightforward, but on 5-ship weekends, traffic into the docks can back up quickly, particularly around Dock Gate 4. From London, direct trains run from Waterloo to Southampton Central in around 1 hour and 20 minutes. They're reliable, but peak services can be busy in cruise season, especially if you're traveling with larger cases. It's also worth checking whether your cruise line offers a direct coach transfer from your region. For some passengers, that removes the need to drive or change trains altogether. One of the most common questions is whether you can walk from Southampton Central Station to your cruise terminal. Technically, yes. I've done it myself, although without a large suitcase. From the station, City and Horizon are about a 20-minute walk at a steady pace. Mayflower is closer to 25 minutes, and Ocean and QE2 are nearer 30 minutes, depending on your route. The pavements are flat, with proper crossings and clear signage. In good weather, it's perfectly manageable. But here's the practical reality. If you're traveling with large cases, arriving after a long flight, or the weather turns, that same walk can feel much longer than it looks on a map. There's a taxi rank directly outside the station, and Uber operates reliably. The drive to most terminals only takes a few minutes and removes that final stretch of effort. If you're driving, parking is one of the main decisions to sort before embarkation day. There are two official providers, CPS and ABP. CPS is typically used by P&O and Princess. You hand over your keys at the terminal, and your car is parked in a secure compound. On return, it's brought back to the terminal you disembark from, even if that's different from where you left. ABP, used by lines such as MSC and Royal Caribbean, works differently. You park the car yourself in a designated space and keep your keys for the duration of the cruise. Who you cruise with determines which provider is used, so the key thing is simply knowing what to expect when you arrive. If you want the easiest option, then book in advance. Official parking does sell out in peak season. An alternative is West Quay Multi-Story in the city centre. It's cheaper than official port parking, and within walking distance of City and Horizon terminals. You can drop your luggage at the terminal first, then park and walk back. Disembarkation in Southampton is generally well organised, but there are a few things to remember. You may not return to the same terminal you departed from. Always check your final night information. Taxi queues can build quickly when multiple ships disembark at similar times. If you're heading to Southampton Central Station, allow time. If you're flying home, factor in motorway traffic towards Heathrow or Gatwick. Don't schedule a flight that assumes you'll be off the ship the moment it docks. Allow margin. That margin removes stress. Southampton is a working port city. It's practical rather than glamorous, but it's compact and easy to navigate. West Quay Shopping Centre is a short taxi ride or manageable walk from several terminals and is useful for last-minute essentials, pharmacies, and food if you've forgotten anything. Mayflower Park is a popular ship-spotting location with open views across the water. If you arrive early or stay overnight, it's a pleasant place to stretch your legs and watch cruise ships and container vessels moving in and out of port. You can also walk around the Old Town area and see sections of the medieval city walls that still remain. Southampton was the departure point for Titanic in 1912, and you'll find memorials across the city as well as the Sea City Museum if you want to understand that part of its history in more detail. Southampton offers one of the widest ranges of cruise itineraries in the UK, and the biggest advantage is that you don't need to fly. You can take short British and Irish sailings, usually 5 to 7 nights, with ports like Belfast or Dublin. Norwegian fjords cruises run through spring and summer, focused more on scenery and sail-ins than city stops. In summer, Baltic itineraries head towards places like Copenhagen and Stockholm. If you prefer warmer weather, there are Spain and Portugal routes, winter Canary Islands cruises, and full Mediterranean sailings going south towards Barcelona or Rome. You'll also find longer voyages and occasional transatlantic crossings, particularly with Cunard, or on repositioning cruises. Heading from Southampton into the Mediterranean? That's where planning really starts to matter. Watch my Mediterranean cruise playlist next, so you know exactly what to expect in those ports before you arrive.